Hey everyone, Nicole here, back with another Estes Education how-to video. Today, we're going to be talking about how to launch rockets with a large group of students, anywhere from 2 all the way up to 40 or 60 students. There's no end to all the cool experiences your students can have by building, launching, and studying model rockets. But guess what? There's a way to make it even easier, especially for you. How, you ask? By taking tips from us to make launching with a large group a breeze. This is how to launch with a large group.
Hit it.
Your students have built their rockets, and they look great, but that's only part of the experience. Now they need to launch their rockets, collect data, and demonstrate engineering principles. But you're probably thinking, Nicole, I've got all of these students and so many rockets. How am I going to manage all of that? Don't worry, we've got you covered. First, you need to choose your flying field, which determines which engine size you can use, and therefore, what rocket you can fly. For example, A engines require at least 100 feet by 100 feet. B engines, 200 feet by 200 feet. C engines, you get the picture. A school football field or soccer field, or even a large empty parking lot will do the trick. If you have limited space, plan your rocket activity using a lower powered engine. We offer 1/2 and 1/4 A engines and the rockets to go along with them. Using that, you'll only need a space that's 50 feet by 50 feet. Just be sure to pick a site that's far away from power lines, busy roads, and rocket-eating trees. And wherever you decide to launch, be sure you have permission. There's going to be a lot happening on launch day, so the more you can prepare ahead of time, the better. Start by packing your launch pads. Mailing tubes with caps on both ends are ideal for carrying your launch rods. If you've got a lot of students and a lot of rockets, you're going to want more than one pad. We recommend 1 launch pad per 10 students. That's going to make things move a lot quicker. The Model Rocketry Safety Code requires that you launch with a launch controller that is remote and electric, with enough cable to stand back at least 15 feet. You'll need 1 controller for every pad. And now it's time for a shameless plug. Did you know that we have a launch system created especially for teachers and group leaders? Introducing the Estes Lifetime Launch System. Simple to use, easy to set up, and rugged enough to keep them flying year after year. The system includes the Pro Series 2 launch controller, which has extra safety features built in and larger batteries, so it's perfect for group launches. The whole package comes with a lifetime limited warranty, so you know that we've built it to last. The Estes Lifetime Launch System is available now on our website. Link in the description below. And now back to our regular program. Moving on. You'll need to create a barrier between your launch pads and the students participating. Folding tables make great barriers and are great places for you to place your launch controllers on. Use orange cones to extend the barrier even further. And it's always a good idea to bring along a fire extinguisher, just in case. Besides the big stuff, there's plenty of smaller tools that you'll need to help your launch run smoothly, like a screwdriver, a pocket knife, a roll of masking tape, a few pencils, a notebook or 2, rubber bands, a few sheets of fine sandpaper, spare batteries for your launch controller, and instant glue. This is super helpful for broken fins and missing launch lugs. I'm sure you'll think of more, but that's a good start. Collect all of your smaller supplies and find a smaller sized bin. I prefer something like this. It's nice and bright so you can always find it, and it's perfect size to fit into a larger bin. So that's everything we need. All of our materials for a fun day of rocket launching, right? Oh wait, the rockets! Now let's talk about preparing the rockets for flight. Step number 1 is to insert an engine. Start by placing a new engine inside the rear of the rocket with the nozzle opening facing out. Depending on the design of the model rocket, there could be a metal hook holding the engine in place, or a plastic retainer cap, or nothing at all. Some model rocket engines stay in place strictly by friction. With the engine in place, flip the rocket upside down and take the nose cone off. This is the shock cord. It keeps your body tube, nose cone, and recovery system attached. Step 2 is to add recovery wadding. Recovery wadding is a fire-resistant ejection wadding that goes in between the engine and the parachute to protect the parachute from hot gases. You want to add between 3 and 5 pieces of recovery wadding, depending on the size of the engine. Take each piece, crumple it up, and place it inside the body tube. You can use a pen or a pencil to push it down as far as it can go. Step 3 is to add the recovery system. Some rockets will have a streamer instead of a parachute. This recovery system pushes out of the body tube at just the right moment because of the engine's ejection charge to prevent the rocket from hitting the ground too hard. Fold the parachute or roll the streamer and insert it into the body tube after the recovery wadding. Check out the Estes Education video, How to Fold a Parachute, to learn more about the history of parachutes and how to fold them correctly. Link in the description below. The nose cone should slide easily into the body tube and be tight enough for friction to hold it. If it's too loose or wiggly, add some tape around the base of the nose cone and try again. Step 4 is to add the model rocket starter. Gently place the starter into the nozzle of the engine, as far as it will go, but don't force it. Then, insert the engine plug to hold the starter in place. Engine plugs are included in every pack of Estes engines. Spread the wires away from each other. I recommend folding them back a little to make it easier to attach the controller clips. Step 5 is to pack up all your supplies and get ready for launch. Be sure to pack extra engines and starters with you. That's always a great idea, in case something happens. Pack all the rockets and put them in a plastic tote or a large cardboard box. Be sure that students have clearly labeled their names. And that's it. You're ready for launch. Congratulations! It's launch day. You're almost there. Now, let's get out to the flying field and set up. How you arrange your flying field is going to be super important to keep your students focused and safe. Set up the folding table and orange cones to form a barrier. Then assemble the launch pads about 15 feet away so that you and your students can stand on either side of that barrier. The table will be your launch control station. If you have an additional table, you can set it up further behind the barricade and lay out all of the rockets that are ready to launch. Set out the launch controllers on the table and run each cable to the launch pad. See this? This is called a launch key. Nothing happens without this key. When you're ready, you place the key inside the launch controller and all the magic happens. When launching with a large group of students, you want to make sure that only adults handle this key. That's going to prevent some other students from pressing the button when you're not paying attention and launching the rockets before you're ready. Pro tip: put the launch key on a lanyard or on a wrist keychain so that you always know where it is. Next, let's talk about launch day rules. Launching with a large group of students can be very exciting, but waiting for your turn to launch can be pretty boring. You can assign your students launch day roles to keep them actively engaged, whether preparing the rockets for launch or helping with the rocket launch itself. The first role is the altitude trackers. Set up observation stations and assign students to use the Estes AltiTrack. Students will observe and record altitude data for each launch. All you have to do is follow the instructions that are included in the package. There's a link in the description below. The next role you can assign are rocket spotters. In all the excitement of launch day, it's easy to lose sight of the rocket in flight. The students who aren't actively launching can have the job of visually tracking the rocket to the ground to help the rocket owner retrieve their rocket. Another role is the launch photographer. Give students a camera or let them use their cell phone to capture pictures and videos of the launches and the people. There's so much to capture on launch day. If you have more experienced Rocketeers in your classroom, they can be assigned the role of launch pad inspectors. They will ensure that each rocket has been assembled correctly, the engine and starter are installed properly, and that the controller clips are secure. And what about you? The person in charge of the launch has the biggest role of all, and that's the Range Safety Officer, or the RSO. In the world of full-size model rocketry, the RSO has the final say of everything that happens on the field, and that should be the same at your model rocket launch. Don't be shy about calling out any unsafe activities and stopping the launches until it's fixed. And of course, when the launch is over, everyone's on cleanup crew. Let's walk through the launch day procedure. Follow these steps every time, and you will ensure that everyone stays safe. First, you need to open the range. The RSO will say, "Range is open," and that allows the first group of students to approach the pads and prep their rockets for flight. Each student will remove the rod cap and slide the rocket down the launch rod via the launch lug. Then, students will attach the launch controller clips to the model rocket starter. Be sure that the clips are not touching each other or the blast deflector plate. Pop quiz! Where should the launch key be when the range is open and the students are prepping the rockets on the pad? The correct answer is on your lanyard, or on your wrist, or in your pocket, away from the launch controller. Once the launch pad inspectors haven't finished inspecting the rockets, you can instruct everyone to stand back behind the barriers and close the range. The range is closed! Everyone should stand behind the barriers until the range is open again. Now it's time to take out that launch key and insert it into your launch controller. Most launch controllers will have a light or an alert, or both, to let you know that your circuit is complete and you're ready to launch. Ask everybody to count down and instruct the student at the pad to press the button until the engine ignites and the rocket leaves the pad. Watch the rocket soar high into the sky. Don't forget to remove the safety key. Move to the next pad and controller and follow the same steps with the next student and the next until all the pads are clear. When all the rockets have launched, you can reopen the range. The range is open! And let the students who just launched retrieve their rockets, while the next set of students can approach the pad and prep their rockets for launch. Rinse and repeat until everyone has flown. You've just completed your first group launch. Have you ever wondered why NASA counts down to launch? The first rocket scientists got the idea from a 1929 film about a rocket to the moon. It's a clear and consistent way to let everyone know what's about to happen and when. The most important thing is to get loud. Make sure all those kids are counting down with you and you won't have a problem. A 5-second countdown works well, but you can choose to do 10 or 3. Let's talk through some common problems and solutions. If your rocket just won't launch after you've pressed the button a few times, we call that a misfire. Remove the safety key and wait 60 seconds before you approach the pad. Oftentimes, the starter shorted out or wasn't inserted far enough into the engine nozzle. The easiest thing you can do is replace the starter and try again. A long day of launches can wear out your launch controller batteries. Be sure to start your day with fresh batteries and always have extra just in case. Sometimes misfires can be caused by dirty or rusty launch controller clips. Take a fine piece of sandpaper to remove any buildup. Model rockets can be surprisingly fragile. If a fin or a launch lug breaks off, use a little CA glue to fix the problem. Never clear a damaged rocket for flight, especially if it looks like this. And there you have it, everything that you need to know about how to manage a large group of students while launching model rockets. A little planning and organizing can go a long way. So have a great flight, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching with Estes Education. If you liked this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be alerted for new content. We'll see you soon!